Greetings and welcome to the second episode of Morrowind Modding Showcases. I'm your host, Dark Elf Guy, and I'll be your narrator this evening. We're going to have just a quick introduction outlining the changes we've made to the show since last time. First of all, thank you all for your support and positive encouragement. I really wasn't expecting much of a response, and I am humbled by your interest in this show. Now, we took many suggestions under advisement, and you'll find that we've filmed this episode in a much better quality aspect ratio. The biggest change we've made is the interactive menus, which can now be found between each and every mod, so you can jump between showcases at will. Now, of course, you can find all download links for these mods in the description below. So why don't we go ahead and get started? First up is the popular mod of the week, and we have Logan's Caverns Overhaul this week. This mod details a number of the caverns around Vardenfell, with more plant life, light rays, particle effects, waterfalls, and various miscellaneous detail objects. The result of all these additions is to make each cave a new and unique experience for the player to discover, with lush cavern environments that the original vanilla Morrowind never had. Indeed, the caves that have been detailed so far are atmospherically enhanced and feel practically all new due to everything that's been added and changed with them. So far, a number of the pre-existing caves on Vardenfell have been so detailed, but they're fun to discover and try out, with the promise of more in the future should Logan continue this project. For our house mod of the week, we have Landmass Lotus Moon mod. This adds a quaint and decent sized manor across from the docks in Vivek. As you can see here, as we're approaching the house, it is a very sizable building indeed. The house contains several rooms for player use, including this rather cozy foyer that you can see here. It even has a dog. Also included is a bedroom with a shrine and a teleport ring you can use to return to the house at any time with. Very convenient. There's a lavishly detailed kitchen and dining room, which includes a housekeeper, not to mention a bunch of delicious looking food. One of the most notable features is a creatively designed bath, and looks quite lavish. I certainly wouldn't mind taking a dip in it myself. Other rooms include an alchemy lab, display and storage areas, and a training room. While the house is certainly charming, it does have a story to tell, and there's more than a few secrets about it. This week's gameplay mod of the week is Mr. Magic's Projectile Overhaul. This mod does a number of things to overall improve ranged weapons in Morrowind, including making arrows weightless and showing each arrow's damage range as part of the name. Now other throwing objects that use the marksman skill, like darts and throwing stars, have been left unaltered, and throwing knives have been made slightly heavier. In addition, arrows are now faster, so you'll be able to hit those annoying cliff faces more frequently. The arrow recovery chance has also been improved. You'll now be able to get your used arrows back up to 80% of the time, compared to vanilla Morrowind's mere 25%. Of course, this doesn't mean you'll get your arrows back all the time. It just improves your chances. Throwing knives, in addition to being heavier, are also now faster and deal more damage to opponents. Finally, projectile spells have increased speed, hitting targets quickly and effectively. The mod itself is composed of several .esps, so you can pick and choose which of these features you want, if one is not particularly one you'd like to have in your game. Moving on to dungeons, we have Face of the Hortator by Infragris, or Karamak as he's known on the forums, for our dungeon mod of the week. This mod adds a humble looking mine called Asher Anit, near Lake Nabia north of Saran. At first, the dark depths of the mine are nothing out of the ordinary, as you'll soon discover there's excavation underway, and ancient ruins lurk deep within the darkness. Face of the Hortator includes a wonderfully well-written story about the dungeon and the artifact it contains, and even includes some new artwork, as you can see here. On your journey through the perilous depths, you'll fight ghostly apparitions and the legions of the undead. You'll also encounter angry miners with very pointy spears who are none too happy to see you. And of course, what dungeon is complete without swarms and swarms of Daedra trying to kill you at every nick and turn? The treasure you seek is a valuable and powerful new artifact that fits in well with established lore. Assuming you can survive long enough to find it, that is. For our items mod of the week, we have Dockside Clutter by the Wanderer. This mod enhances the docks of Morrowind with new clutter, shipping related items, and general miscellaneous detail. Some of the new items include coils of rope, rigging deadeyes, wooden blocks, and even a few anchors. Not to mention those poor captains now have something to drink. there's also one or two new docks added to the world, such as this shipbuilding dock here, which greatly enhances immersion. You can find these additions, including a number of cargo cranes, throughout the docks of the western coast of Vardenfell. Continuing on to quests, our quest mod of the week is the Great Tribe of the Bear by Slaanesh the Corruptor. In this mod you'll visit the aloof Tribe of the Bear in Solstheim. A small tribe at first, with your help the tribe will grow and expand to become a great tribe indeed. And you can see a few members of the tribe here. You'll meet with kings and learn their stories as you embark on endeavours great and small. You can see an example of some of the dialogue here. You'll fight side by side with other members of the tribe and decent-sized scripted battles. Now these are fairly tough challenges, and will probably require high-level characters to complete. You'll also get a companion to travel with you on your adventures, and they include a number of new companion features, so that you can really feel like you're traveling with someone who means something to you. You may even fight a dragon as you work to bring strength to the tribe and glory to their house. This week's Landmass Mod of the Week is Talnicum Moved by Anti-Scamp, with the moved temporarily built compatibility version added by Abbott. Talnicum is an island port city, historically made up of pirates, and currently under a matriarchy society. The island features a number of small shops and things to do, despite its rather small size. There's a large number of documents relating to the culture, politics, and history of Talnicum, including an explanation for the Telvanni Tel in the name, as the island used to be a Telvanni settlement at one point in time in history. The island offers a number of quests, with a fair amount of backstory to discover and a good bit of dialogue, as you can see here. Not to mention a few dungeons, like this one here. You can visit the lovely and now completely compatible with temporary builds city of Talnicum today on the Nexus. our NPC Mod of the Week, we have Dreamer's Expansion by Volga. This mod greatly expands the variety of 6-house dreamers that you can encounter in 6-house bases. Instead of the typical naked, insane dreamers you've encountered before, you'll encounter people in various stages of the disease corpus. Of course, these new dreamers are similarly also lacking in dress wear. Hopefully you have an underwear mod installed to avoid any awkward interruptions while playing. New animations have also been added, such as this eating one. Really enjoying that corpus meat, ain't ya, fellow? Of course, there's also some new worshipping animations. Some dreamers are normal people and only recently called to the 6th house, and they do not yet display any signs of the corpus disease. Still others are blind, like this poor fellow, who couldn't see me even if I wasn't invisible. Others act as mini bosses of a sort, and you can tell them apart by their fancy new robes. Quite striking, aren't they? The Dreamer's Expansion adds all this and much more for you to experience. Next up we have the Modder's Resource Mod of the Week, and this week it's Danae's Containers Mod. Now, to properly show off these cool new containers, I used one of my own interior layouts and populated it with all the container resources I could find. Nearly everything here is actually a container of some sort, such as this key box, and that basket of fruits, and that basket of flowers. This can be quite useful for interior detailing, because you don't have to worry about the player picking up everything in sight and ruining your beautiful interior layout. It can also, quite frankly, be a lot easier to make interiors detailed, as shelves and tables that would have required dozens of objects to look detailed now only require a few hand-placed item containers, and they achieve much the same effect. The large variety of containers allows for a lot of different uses to make interior building easier and more fun. And you can craft writing desks like this one, or populate your walls with containers, or make clothing more interesting with piles of clothes everywhere. That really highlights your interior building skills. This week's underrated mod of the week is Veilless Mana Improvements by Vegetable. As you can see here, this is what Veilless Mana looks like without any improvements added to it. As one of the only truly vacant vanilla buildings in Mournhold, it is ideal for player use, yet it has a few problems. There's not a whole lot of storage, and all the items and containers are owned, so storing anything here would get it marked as stolen. And should you get arrested by a guard carrying it, it'll be taken from your inventory. What Veilless Mana Improvements does is add more storage, such as crates, urns, baskets and sacks, as well as small chests and larger chests. so that there's plenty of storage for the player to use. And it also removes all of those pesky ownership tags, so the mana becomes safe for player use. With these improvements, Bayless Manor is quite the good player home, and could probably serve all of your needs in the Mournhold area. Our blast from the past mod this week is Dave Humphrey's Furniture Store by, well, you probably guessed it, Dave Humphrey, of course. This mod adds a number of furniture stores to various locations around Vardenfell. Here you can buy various static objects, such as banners, benches, chairs, wine cots, wine kegs, well, really just about everything you can imagine. As you can see here, it's quite a considerable inventory. You can also buy containers, bookshelves, and tables. Naturally, you'll need some lighting and lighting hooks as well. And you can always buy a bar or two if you want. Then there's beds, rugs, and tapestries for purchase as well, if you've got the money. Now, you're going to need an empty home to put everything in, and this mod adds a ton of homes to buy all over the island. There's even a mansion fort just outside of Ebonholt. These homes will set you back a pretty septum, ranging from several thousand drakes to 1.2 million for that Ebonholt mansion. Once you buy your home, you have to decorate it, since it starts out completely empty, as you can see here. Here's how I decorated mine. It's a bit haphazard, I gotta admit. There's a few display cases and mannequins and a bed. But you can decorate your house however you want, and this 2005 Hall of Fame winner, Dave Humphrey's Furniture Store. Now for our bonus mod of the week, we have CML33, or Sea Lyle as he's also known, Down the Well. This mod adds a well to Caldera, but it's actually more than it appears to be. Inside is actually a cozy home, perfectly supplied for a thief or some other nefarious character to lay low in. Of course, you may want to take note of the book Trap included in the decor. This mod is certainly not recommended for those who are claustrophobic. That's all for this week. All the mods that have been showcased, as well as the music in the background, can be downloaded through the links in the description. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and do post any suggestions you might have for future mod showcases. I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.